as Flea swings over to the dais and lands to the beginning chant of One Must Die, the room seems to have all of the light almost start to flow upward towards the ceiling as if it were liquid being sucked up into the ceiling. And if you look around, the actual balcony is filled with these dark hooded figures who are standing there holding an oddly glowing torch. And each of these figures holding these torches has a blue glow coming from it that does not seem to be affected by the well that's like sucking the light into the ceiling. Lee, Kavi, Sarkis, what do you all do?
I'll start by saying, Yag, protect me, and start searching the diocese.
Just for like full perspective on the room, like where we're standing right now, where is the like balcony, and is there like one balcony with all the figures on it, or is it two separate balconies?
You all are on what could perhaps be a balcony, but it's more just like an actual level around the outer edge of this like pool of water that then has this circular dais like come up from the central point. Up above you about 20 feet and around the entire, I don't know if it's a circumference, if it's a square, the entire perimeter of this room. The balcony is like 20 feet above your head. Well, I guess it's probably like 24 feet above Sarkis's head. Sorry, that was a short joke.
Oh no, I got it.
How about if I say it's 25 feet above the lower level that you all are standing on, which is just a few feet over the water? So, like, the lower level that you're on is probably about equal to this second circle. Wow, that was really bad with shift HUD then. To that, like, second circle. So Sarkis, or not Sarkis, Flea is standing a little bit higher than you all, maybe like a foot higher than you, and the water is like 2 feet below you.
Is it safe to assume that that little altar there is just about the perfect size for a body?
It's definitely very properly human-sized. As you look around at things, there is a single ornate dagger with a bone handle that seems... Do a medicine check for me. There's chains hanging from the ceiling, many of them very perfectly situated. Just going to recognize it as like a bone handle on the actual dagger. Many of these chains have hooks on them. They've got manacles on them. This room is very clearly situated for sacrificing humanoids. The house knows we're here. We're not safe. It requires a sacrifice.
What do you see, Flea? What's on the altar?
I see a stone altar, perfect size for sacrifice, and what looks to be a bone sacrificial knife. Other than that, it appears to be clean.
Oh dear, I suspect we're in great danger. Perhaps we should leave from this place, explore somewhere else.
Well, is there anywhere else to go?
Have you felt like this house has given you a choice before?
Not really.
Do any of you feel prepared to die?
Not today.
There's one thing I've learned in my journey on this earth. It's things can come to you and be taken away whether you expect it or not. I'm prepared to die one way or the other, but I would prefer not.
Does Flea still have access to the rope to climb back over?
What was it? I feel like you hung it across a hook so you could use it to jump to, and I think we determined it would be too short to leave with somebody else. So it's still hanging, but I think the hook was like essentially like just beyond it.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Shall I come back? I do not think there's anything else here to discover, and I am not willing to get on top of that altar.
We must be missing something. I feel like we're exactly where we're supposed to be, but I'm just not sure what we're supposed to do or if we want to do what we're supposed to do.
What do you think we're supposed to do?
I think one of us is supposed to die.
Feel free. I guess from searching other than the sacrificial knife, nothing else, right?
Nope, it's pretty plain down there. It's probably a little dusty. Do none of you owe your lives to my mother? To my family?
Not really. I don't even think she offered us a reward, to tell you the truth. I just figured we'd get something if we came back with you, but
She's pretty rich. I'm surprised you didn't ask her for money. She's definitely really, really rich. Probably had magical items to give you too, as well as if anybody asked.
Interesting.
It's a shame we're stuck here in this situation now.
I don't suppose she gave you any magical items before you came here?
No, I was taken on my way to see my father.
Just out of curiosity, who took you?
I was traveling with my guards and woke up in this place what felt like ages later. Lost in the mist. I found this house.
And what compelled you to enter?
You've not walked into the mist. It is not safe to walk into the mist. Your flesh, your lungs, your everything burns. And then you come out right where you entered it. If I think it knows. And Sophia is going to reach around her neck and kind of whisper a little word. And you'll hear as she says, Bodhi, a little face kind of peek up out of her tunic, and she's going to call forth a little pet. I think the house wants blood, needs life.
Oh, what is the little pet that she calls for?
It's a quadruped bird with like white fur. It has like pink orange splotches as well as like tips to its tail. Like 3 of its paws have this like pink orange color and then a bright orange nose. In all general purposes, it looks a lot like a fox, only it has 9 tails.
And this whole time, are we still hearing like the chanting and everything?
Yep.
Before we make any rash decisions, perhaps we could take a moment and replenish our minds and our resources.
Please give me the dagger. Scythia's gonna reach out her hand to take the dagger from you, Flea.
Why do you need the dagger?
I don't intend to die in this place. None of you seem to owe my family enough to die. I have my friend here. I sacrifice her. Perhaps the house will be happy.
Or perhaps you will unleash something even worse.
Not better to make your own choices?
Lee hands her the dagger.
Have any of you a better choice? Did anybody spend any time thinking about what they might sacrifice this week?
You're talking about a blood sacrifice.
I mean, she's talking about killing her pet at this point.
I have no pets.
And I don't think any of you mentioned essentially dying and coming back since you've been in the house. But you all are at least relatively aware that you have found new life in this house as well. At a cost.
I will say thank you for the sacrifice.
Are we ever sure it has to be a living sacrifice?
What do you have in mind?
Like, it says one must die, but you could die in numerous ways. It doesn't have to be physically dying.
Who do you have in mind? Does Kavi have something she'd like to try?
She does, and it hurts her a lot to do it. So she just makes her way over there.
So vaguely, I feel like you're making your way over there as Sifia starts to put Bodhi on top of the dais, and the chanting gets a little bit louder. And you make your way there. And what are you thinking?
She takes Bodhi off and she replaces it with her journal.
Does your journal have someone trapped in it?
She reaches out her hand for the dagger, but she doesn't really say anything at the moment.
Sifia like looks into your eyes with like tears welling up in her eyes as you take Nine Tails off, setting her down and like replacing her with your journal, and very slowly starts to hand you the hilt of the dagger.
When she has the dagger in hand, she like looks at her journal before just like closing her eyes and just like stabbing the knife into her journal, because that's her heart and soul.
The moment you stab into the journal, the chanting stops. And it starts anew on He is the Ancient, He is the Land. You see the pile of rubble and filth in the southern end of the cavern start to writhe as different like appendages, arms, and I'm sorry if anybody is, you see a tiny baby. You see all kinds of things writhing inside of this trash and filth, and among them you start to see apparitions of your life, Kavi. Like apparitions was the wrong word. Like images, like almost projected in like spurts of filth coming from this thing, almost like in a 3D projection. But like this thing is clearly made more powerful by your sacrifice. As your journal is stabbed into with the dagger itself, can you describe the outside of the journal for me?
It's very basic, just brown leather. There's nothing special about it.
So the leather itself starts to like dry and crackle, and within a few moments, just a black tendrils start to spiral out of this thing in all directions like it's a sun, with these different like novas starting to come out of it before slowly the book almost dies from within, and this mass starts to like almost pump with life and then go calm. And all of the figures disappear.
What the hell is going on here? I think we're in over our heads. What was in that journal?
You just saved us. I think it's time to go.
I agree.
Sophia's going to pick Bodhi back up, placing her onto her neck, and very quickly it starts to wrap back around her neck. And you see that many parts of her tail actually like starts to like match her hair, and it kind of blends the creature into her actual body. I don't know about you all, but I hope to never see whatever that thing was again.
So what? Do you think that was it? You stabbed your book and now we can leave?
I think it took the sacrifice of all of her memories. Her heart.
What a strange place. Well, like you said, it's been leading us wherever it wants us to go, so I don't suppose it'll let us leave if we're not meant to. Worth a try. Everyone be careful of the traps on the way out.
As you step back into the room with all of the different fetishes, they all seem to be crumbled into dust. The room itself just seems to be stone pillars with little stone alcoves. The wood of the actual pillars holding up the like central parts of the ceiling seems to be rotted and a little bit less secure. Stepping back up, you all are presented with the basement that you left on the stairs in a dreary, utter silence at this point.
What are we to do with these bones? Can I sort of like open my backpack up and like reach in and feel if I still have like the bags with the bones in them?
I thought you put them in the room last week.
Nope, you guys never did anything with them. But you do indeed still have the bones.
We're supposed to leave these in a crypt somewhere so that these children can rest.
Who's carrying light sources right now?
Oh, I think I threw my torch at the end of the last session into the middle there. So unless it was brought back over, I would have to relight a torch.
I could have one lit.
Think that was the crypt down there, the area we just left? Doesn't seem right just leaving these children's remains there.
Roll a religion check. That was certainly no crypt.
It was not a crypt?
Yes, definitely not a crypt. That was some sort of dark cult sacrificial chamber.
Perhaps there's an area that we haven't explored.
I think this is where the trap was. Scythia's going to hand one of you a rope before she runs and leaps over. As her footing like gives away to the trap, stepping like just a little bit too far on top of it. She pulls back on the rope and like runs against the wall and like almost turns around with the force of the rope. Yep, found the trap.
Good job, dear. What felt like set it off? Was it the pressure of your foot, or is there some sort of sensor?
I think I just ran too far. I probably weigh more than it will hold.
Perhaps we should explore this other way before leaving. I really would like to help these children.
Children who invited you into this place?
No, I think that was the evil of the house that was out there. I think those children were trapped. I think they were killed by that woman or neglected by their parents. What do I see like right where Flea's at those stairs?
Stairs leading up, and you said you lit a torch as well. So right now,
Yeah,
Kavi and Sarkis have a torch.
Correct.
Oh, I think that's. Oh, I think torches are actually 30. So you see the stairs lead up about 5 or 10 feet, and then there's an opening. And the moment Flea moves towards the T there, I need everybody to roll in.
Oh shit.
There's almost a reason that I'm hesitant to reveal an area and use an NPC to run in a different direction.
Trying to trick us to not go to the crypt. I know you.
So as you move forward to that junction and start to see signs that it is a cross point between a few different halls in this area, some of the like stones from the floor and earth starts to like move and churn beneath your feet as you hear these horrific like gasping sounds. I don't know if anybody's ever met somebody who's punctured a lung, but somebody with a punctured lung breathing is just a really like dry, hollow gasp for breath. And these things start to claw their way out of the ground. And as they stand up, they're all wearing these tattered black robes and start to charge forward into you all. And Sarkis is going to act first. So you see one directly ahead of you. You also hear the sound of others coming from the south. What would you like to do, Sarkis?
Careful, Flea. Perhaps we should go the other direction. And I will reach into like the lapel of my like shirt that's under my armor, and I'll pull out a little dart, and I'm gonna throw the dart at the creature.
Uh, 14 hit. Oh, my bad. I keep thinking that you might have an extra attack.
Yeah, I don't. I think for double attack it has to be a light weapon, I believe. So
Are darts light weapons? Oh, no, that's one of the things about darts. They're specifically hated on. They're almost lawn darts instead of like throwing darts from a bar.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, so my bonus actions are pretty limited at range, so I think that's gonna do it for me. I'm just gonna take a move.
Creature's going to run up towards Flea, and it's going to claw at him. It's going to hit with a 22 and deal 6 damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Flea, your body is going to stiffen up as all of your muscles go to full tension, and you are paralyzed. At the end of your turn, Flea, you can make a Constitution saving throw. You shake it off. Feel yourself breathing normally again, and it's going to go to Key. Are you there, Kelsey?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just thinking. She's gonna cast Dissonant Whispers on it.
Can you post Dissonant Whispers for me? I feel like I know the spell. And what? Your DC is 13 right now?
14.
These creatures are incredibly wise. I'm sure this can't go incredibly wrong. Oh shit, I rolled a 17. So I think it's gonna take half of 3d6. Yep, half as much damage, so you can roll 3d6.
7. I don't know why that didn't post. As a bonus action, she's gonna cast. She's gonna use Bardic Inspiration on Flea.
And your inspiration right now is a d6?
Yes, and it lasts for 10 minutes.
So, Flea, you can note yourself with having a bardic inspiration. Essentially, I believe you can add a d6 to any roll of a d20 that you do for the next 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Just to flavor it, what do you do to inspire him or say or whatever?
All you'll hear is like her little tail like flicking across the loot that she's holding.
Just strumming a few chords of inspiration.
Yep.
That's awesome.
One of these creatures is going to run, leap through, flee, and its friend as it strikes out at Kavi for an 18 to hit for 6 damage. And a con save, please.
We never took a rest or anything, did we?
No.
What the last rest that you all had, I feel like, was before you entered the basement, which I think we had you effectively take a long rest then. So it's been a while, but
Yeah, we both fell in a trap since then.
Yeah, you said it was for 7.
I think it was 6 again.
Yeah, either way, I'm down.
One is going to run, leaping over Kavi. It's going to... Oh, actually, it's going to run past Sarkis. Would you like to react to a creature running next to you and past you?
Oh wait, where did it come from?
Oh, not Sarkis, my bad. Flea.
Yes. 2 daggers, attack.
It's just a single attack action,
Okay.
so you can dagger it.
And I do get that second D6, right?
It is not a sneak attack. You have nobody who's a threat next to you. Did you click it, Al?
Yeah, I did. I'll hit it again.
Well, it just didn't send to the tabletop. Did you... I feel like you've already sent things.
I feel like the tabletop's messing up because it didn't send my 3d6 either.
I mean, if D&D Beyond isn't working, that's an issue as well, though. So it's 2 different things. /R. But you need a D20 roll as well as a damage roll. It is not an auto hit. And I need the actual roll from D&D Beyond. Like, that is worth fixing this early in this campaign. Did you press the red die to synchronize your character to this tabletop? Beyond 20 in the top right?
I just saw your roll come up on D&D Beyond, but it didn't go over to Roll20. So I think if you go to that cog, you should be able to set it up to send to the virtual tabletop.
Working on it. Yeah, it has dice rolling on, and so it should go.
Yeah, I think it's glitching or something because for some reason the screen's purple.
I feel like they did that last week, though. Yeah, when I clicked it, it went through without a problem. That was an instant of clicking it. You see dagger in your attack actions under flee? Maybe reload it because I just equipped the dagger for you. There we go. Second one was me, so the third one's yours. A 19 hits for 7 damage. As the creature runs past, it like leaps down the stairs, and in the same motion of kind of hearing it, Scythia turns around and she is going to draw a scimitar and swipe out at the creature. She's going to miss with an incredibly low roll, but she tried, and it's going to go to Sarkis.
All right, so is there any notable damage to either the first one that I attacked or the one that just got attacked?
Not especially, no. Between their rot and the general status of these beings, it's hard to even tell any difference between the ones that have been attacked and the one that just crawled out of the dirt and hasn't been hit.
Okay, cool. I figured I'd ask in case like there was like limbs falling off and it started looking a little shambly.
Oh, that's what you guys missed down below, a shambling mound. Call it Shambling Walter.
Okay, I guess I will just I'm gonna go ahead and just bow staff the dude right in front of me.
You've got one or two-handed options with the bow.
Yeah, I've got it set up, I think, for two-handed. It should roll two-handed for me. So yeah, I'm just gonna smack it with my quarterstaff, and yeah, okay.
16 hits for 5 damage.
Yeah, that looks right. And then I will. Yeah, rough shape. I'm going to. I'm gonna spend one key point if I can find them.
As you blast it with your staff, an entire like section of its like chest collapses with the impact.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend one key point and do flurry of blows. For my bonus action, and then I'm just gonna try to punch its head off.
A 12 hits, dealing 6. These some of the ligaments from the head start to tear, and much of its head is starting to be free, but not free falling.
All right, and I'll just yell out, "Finish dying already!" And I'm gonna hit it with my last strike.
21 will hit, and that will indeed destroy this creature.
And then I'm going to Just yell out, "Don't worry, Flea, I've got your back, but in a second." I'm just going to take a couple steps away.
Thank you.
And it will twist back around to you, Flea, as another of the creatures runs down the stairs, leaping after Sarkis.
Okay, I will hit the dead guy right in front of me.
$18 hits. 4 damage. Now you can use your bonus action to make an attack with your other dagger. $13 hits for 7 more.
Any signs of faltering?
Just definitely like pretty clear wounds from them. Freshly placed. The creature doesn't look especially damaged, but it's certainly a good bit of attrition. He is, my bad. I need to change your name so it doesn't show up as Key on the initiative tracker. Kavi is going to cough up blood and in the same instant start to choke on said blood. She is lying on her back. The ghoul in front of you is going to leave your area, Flea. You can use your attack of opportunity. 22 hit. For 7 piercing damage. It is going to crumble to the ground as it stumbles over Kavi and slams into the ground at the feet of Sifia.
Am I allowed any movement?
Nope. It is, your reaction is just one thing. Sifia is going to run up behind the ghoul going after Sarkis, and she's going to leap into it, stabbing her scimitar through its back, and it's kind of like dangling on top of this creature for a few moments. And it's going to go to Sarkis.
Okay, I am going to. My bad, just reading something real quick.
Actually, it's early enough in the campaign to give perspective, Sifia is going to yell out, "Your friend is in terrible condition. Help her. I've got this."
Yes, I know, darling. I'm on my way. I'm going to spend a key point and do Step of the Wind.
Can you proc Step of the Wind to the...
You don't have to read that whole thing. I'll just read you the part that's actually Step of the Wind. You can spend 1 key point to take the disengage or dash action as a bonus action on your turn,
Gotcha.
and your jump distance is double.
That's what I was thinking it was. So your bonus action ends up basically being you like swinging your staff at this thing, and as it like pulls back to dodge the blow, you're clear to disengage from the combat.
All right, perfect. And then I will just get down on one knee next to Kavi. And he'll flip his like little ponytail to the side. And you'll hear him say, "What is the price of life?" As he touches the little ruin on his neck, his tattoo glows. And then he reaches down and casts Cure Wounds.
Javi, you are back in the game with 5 hit points. So just to reiterate, I rolled a 1 for her death saving throw.
Yeah, I figured when you said she was choking on blood, I'm like, oh shit. And I was trying to read if I could use that ability if I didn't just attack, or if I had to attack to be able to use that. So that's why I was like, I'm reading. But appreciate
It's the same as casting the spell, right? Like you just have that single use cast. It's like once per long rest or something.
Well, yeah, that spell though is an action, and I had to make sure that when I use my key point, that it I knew that was a bonus action, but I wasn't sure if I had to do it after an attack,
I got
or
you,
if
yeah.
I always do that as a bonus action. But yeah, I'll just grab like touch key and cast a spell, and then say, "We're not done with you yet, darling. We're gonna need your help here," and that's it for my turn.
Monks are 100% the melee version of a battlefield control character. So I'm not surprised that that's purely just a reaction like that. So that's gonna go back around to the ghoul. It is gonna look for 3. It's gonna attack Sifia. 10 is going to miss as it slashes out at her with her claw, and it's gonna go to flee.
Lee is going to check on Kavi and offer assistance.
It's gonna go to Kavi.
So it's an action to like get back up on her feet.
Half your movement, so I believe your movement's 30, so it takes 15 feet of movement.
All right, that's fine. She'll use her crossbow to hit the zombie ghoul thing.
You cannot see it from where you're at, but you can move to get a better line of sight.
I'm assuming at the top of the staircase would be better.
Yeah, that gives you a clear shot. Or it gives you a shot. 7 is going to miss, though.
She gives a bardic inspiration to Sophia.
You can use a bardic inspiration whenever, correct?
Yeah, it's a bonus action.
And you said it's a D6. She's gonna fucking one. I think she's still gonna miss. 6 plus 3, 9. Yep, she's gonna miss as she stabs at it again. Little help. It's gonna go to Sarkis.
The first thing they teach us is to protect our women. And I'm going to do a double-handed attack at this zombie.
$17 hit for 8 damage.
It should be 10. Oh, wait.
You said double-handed.
Never mind. Yeah, it's the two-handed. I didn't realize how it put the damage up there. That's so weird.
That's one of the things, though, why, like, in the other campaign, it's so important for Jan to actually mention what he's going for. Because it matters.
Yeah, I see. It does, like, the one-handed damage first, then the two-handed damage, then the total of either or the other. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a total of 8 damage.
So it seems pretty rough. Again, you're, like, able to kind of collapse in a few of the ribs, but it still seems to be moving with gusto. And it is
and then I'm gonna.
You can continue.
I still have a bonus action. Yeah, I'm gonna do an unarmed strike this time. So, like, assuming I kind of like kneecapped it, so it's down a little shorter, or maybe I'm up on the stairs. I'm gonna try to do like a little halfling spin kick to its head.
15 will hit, and 7 will end its life. Yeah, if you all have stuff to do when I try to move on, combat is the slowest part of the game. I'm always trying to flow forward. I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to keep it moving, because often somebody will finish and go silent. And that just wastes time.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Siphia's gonna tap you on the shoulder with her saber. I don't need your protecting, but it is good to work as a team.
Oh, I wouldn't call it protecting, or like just taking care of business.
You yelled jumping down the stairs that the first thing they teach you is to protect your women. I don't need your protecting, but we can work as a team.
Whatever. Sometimes I say things in the action of combat. Nothing personal.
So, onward?
I'd like to just go down that way a little more. Perhaps they rose up from the crypt, and that's the area we're looking for. I can't speak for you guys, though, but I'm in pretty rough shape. Perhaps we could take a moment to gather ourselves.
Do you want to rest here on the stairs?
We can look for a better place if you'd rather, but the truth is, I might not make it if we don't take a rest soon.
Kavi, Flea, thoughts on where you want to rest?
We could always go back to the room with the well in it that we've already explored.
That area didn't look too good. Those wooden pillars holding up the roof looked like they were ready to cave in.
I think he means like in the northwest corner of the basement here.
Oh, back over there. I got you. I'm not sure one area is going to be any safer than the other. At least with the trap right here to our backs, we've got one way covered, but I'm not opposed to it. But if I fall in that trap again, I'm definitely gonna die.
Same.
Let's rest here.
You're worried about falling in the trap. They make these wonderful things called ropes, and you can do what I did and hold your weight with the rope so you don't fall in when you fail to jump over the trap.
It sounds like a good idea. I'll remember that for next time. I'm just gonna kind of sit down on the stairs and sort of go like Indian style and start like meditating.
Shortly after sitting to take a rest, we'll start to hear movement from the east again. Are you attempting to rest right where you're at, Flea?
No, I was heading down to the hallway, but
Yep, so it's 15 minutes into the rest that this is happening, so move yourselves where you'd like to move. So this creature is just going to meander up to everybody slowly. You can quickly recognize that it is another of the creatures that you've just fought. And I need everybody to roll initiative. Sarkis, what would you like to do?
Definitely feels like we found the crypt. We'll move up to right here and then do a double-handed quarterstaff attack, and I'm gonna try to nail it right in its knee.
As it's walking, its knees just out of your reach in the wrong moment, and you're going to miss.
All right, I will try to stomp on its foot.
Doesn't seem to react as you stomp on its foot.
That's the end of my turn.
It's going to run up behind it, trying to stab at it, attempting to do dope monk shit. She's going to fail miserably, and it's going to go to Kavi.
Well, as they were resting, Kavi had Leo in her hands, so her tail is free. And Simi went up behind her. She's going to go for a tail whip.
You whip your tail like goes right through like just a cavity in its body where there's no flesh remaining. That's an action. Do you have a bonus?
Yeah, she'll cast Healing Word for Sarkis.
Sarkis can heal 8 points, and it's going to go to Flea.
can I move up and have enough time to take a single hit?
You can move up, and I think take 2 attacks, your action and your bonus action, if you're attacking with daggers.
Yep.
"24 hits. 7, 13 damage, and 24 hits. 6 more. for 19 damage. I think that'll be enough to finish it off. I nearly had it. It's good that you all helped, though. I appreciate that.
Not bad at all. Papa's back in action, feeling good now. Thanks for that healing.
I think my mistake was trying to jump up the stairs at it.
Yes. Tactically, high ground is always beneficial.
I'm guessing we didn't rest long enough to get any points back.
Nope.
Perhaps you were right, young one. We should at least move to the opposite side of the trap so they can't get to us while we're resting.
Cross the trapping net, the trap then? She pulls her rope back out.
Yes. I'll take it across now, if you don't mind, and I'll reach out for a rope.
Do you need to tie up with it, old man? So you don't fall in, or we can pull you back out in case you do die?
It's probably not a bad idea. I'll just wrap it around my waist and tie it off.
Feels like you're falling. Just yell and we'll pull back.
I only weigh about 40 pounds, so it shouldn't be difficult. Then I'll go to jump across.
How much do you actually weigh?
Oh, I think that's accurate. Hang on, let me look. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't say on my character sheet. I thought it did.
Oh, you have to generate it. I can look up an average halfling, but I mean, you've got 60 pounds in equipment on you, so that's what really matters. So roll a dexterity check or acrobatics.
I'll try to do like the wall run like she did.
Yeah. Whatever. Mine looked better. I did a U-turn after falling in.
Oh, that was a neat trick. I'm glad I saw you do it. Pick up a little tricks of the trade. And then I guess like I'll hold the rope and wait for other people to cross, like ready to assist them.
I can hold it taut on this side if you all want to cross. You can hang on to the rope between us.
I'll go last. I have the most hit points.
Guess I'll go next.
You can roll a strength or an acrobatics or an athletics check. This is essentially a not one while they're holding the taut. Yep, so you run across. Are you sure, little kitty? Do you not want the safety while we have it taut?
I'm just going to point out, like, Kavi's just snickering.
As Flea doesn't go across, Stiffy is going to hand the rope off to him, and she's just going to run across. And she just leaps right over it. So, athletics or acrobatics. And you're essentially looking... Yep, that's good. 5+. Yeah, you needed a not one with your acrobatics. So Scythia is going to find her way up to Kavi at some point in the actual rest, depending on how much Kavi reacts to her sort of latching onto you during the rest. She's going to kind of like continue to find her way to you. But depending on how you react to this, she's kind of silent for the first like 20 minutes or so of the rest. Do you have any thoughts when she's like sitting next to you?
Now she's fine with it.
Anybody else, any thoughts while you're taking a rest here?
While I'm meditating, I want to like reach out to the random patron who saved me.
What are you attempting to accomplish?
I'm just gonna say, Erad, I'm not used to speaking directly to someone or something, but thank you for bringing me back. Can you answer me one question? Are we able to leave this place now?
So you have no direct communion with this thing, but while you are meditating, you do see. I have to post this in Discord because it didn't actually create a handout in Curse of Strahd. So give me a second and I'll drop this picture in Discord in Fright Night. So while you're meditating, this image is burned into your vision. You just see this like blue sun just like roaring like a strong fire, and it's like cacophonous how loud this is. And this is what you sense as you meditate on Karad and try to ask it questions, but there's no actual response from it. Just that this thing like fills your actual perceptive range.
And if I like pull my armor to the side a little bit and look down at the like wound mark from where I got stabbed by the animated suit of armor, is it still like glowing that same kind of blue color?
I feel like it was a blue scar. If I said it was glowing, yes, but I don't remember saying it was glowing specifically. I was trying to describe it as it was like almost like emanating from the central wound out in the same way as like a flare from a star like reaches out from the surface, like as it like fights against the gravity. Like that's almost like what the like tears in the wound on like the outer edges kind of seem like. But it doesn't necessarily not have to be glowing, but it is a blue scar.
Oh no, that's good enough. Cool, cool. So yeah, I'll just finish my meditation, spend a couple minutes like thinking about my temple and where I trained at and everything.
So at some point during the meditation, Scythia is going to kind of prod and pry about what was in your journal, and kind of if you can remember or recall any of the things. And I would like you to make an intelligence check for me, Kavi.
My +0 intelligence. It's a +1.
So you're able to recall a few things. You do kind of keep up with like some of the writings in it, but you already struggle to describe some of the stories that you might try to share as Scythia starts to question you about what was in the journal. And you would quickly notice that, like, those memories are being taken from you. So, other than those things in particular, it is an uneventful rest, and everybody can benefit from taking a short rest. Yeah, I'm not sure how many hit dice everybody has, but if you go into, I think it's not under your hit points, it's actually under short rest. You can select when you use hit dice and make sure to actually select when you use them, so it saves that, and because you only get like half of your maximum hit dice back on a long rest. But once everybody's good to go, let me know what you would like to move forward with.
Won't take long, and I promise we can get out of here soon, or at least try, but I need to go back the other way and just make sure that that wasn't the crypt back there.
Does that sound like the plan to everybody? I need like group decisions here.
I mean, we already agreed to do it for the kids, so we might as well finish it.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I just. It might be random, but I kind of feel like because it was like undead like creatures or whatever, that maybe that's like the way to the crypt. Like they like came back to life from there. I don't know.
Does everybody agree that those seem like undead creatures coming from the crypt? Kavi, do you agree?
She doesn't know if they're undead, but she agrees.
Yeah, I'll take up the rear.
I'll just do the same thing again. Ask if I could use her rope or if she wants to go first.
Oh yeah, she doesn't mind going first. Somebody or two people, multiple people, whoever wants to have light will have to light a torch again though.
Oh yeah, I'll light up a new one. Assuming what did they last for? About an hour.
Yep, 1 hour. And just so you know, this is definitely a consumable campaign where those consumables matter.
I've got 6 left after this one, so at some point in time we'll need to find some more. But
She's gonna hand off the rope to you, start to run across, and do the exact same thing where she kind of like slips up at the end, and she's gonna pull herself back up across. I got distracted in the light. Give me one more second. Oh, one more try. She like, Flea, can you give me a little space to run up here? And this time she'll run across, and she makes a point to place her feet higher up on the wall than Sarkis did the last time. All right,
impressive. So I can stay here and hold the rope, or go ahead and go.
Mechanically, I think Flea and Sarkis are both not ones, whether they have the rope support or not. Like, essentially, like, running with the rope in hand, both of you have, just don't roll a 1.
Yeah, I'll go last.
All right, so just a dex check.
Yeah, it can be athletics or acrobatics, and Kavi, you can roll yours at the same time. All 3 of you effectively have the not 1. Kavi, like, slips a little bit, pulls up on the rope with the last bit of her effort, and just, like, kind of slingshots herself across with that little bit of support from the rope. Excellent. And Sifia starts to coil her rope. Doing what I only know as a kayaker's coil. Seems to make a figure 8. North? South? Straight ahead?
I'll just sort of like stand in the middle for a sec and see if I can see anything that would lead me to believe. I suppose they came from the south, it sounded like, so if there's a crypt around here, I imagine that's where it is, at least if my theory is correct.
Standing in the center of this with the torch out, you see that one stood up out of the floor pretty much at your feet. One stood up out here, and another stood up out there, and then it looks like another stood up out of there. So, by your theory, you are currently standing in the crypt. It is clearly a hallway. They were cultists.
Oh, they weren't like dead creatures?
No, they were ghouls, but like they were the cultists that you saw apparitions of chanting in the basement.
Ah, okay, I got you.
Like, this is
Well,
a cult sacrificial chamber / basement.
I'll still just kind of look around a little bit for the crypt, so I guess I'll just go with my theory, south.
So, as you head south, you see as the hall kind of ends after about another 30 feet, where it seems to turn to the east.
Can I kind of like poke around with my stick and sort of like push some weight onto it and try to check for traps in this hallway?
Most certainly. Do an investigation at disadvantage. Or I guess the disadvantage is automatic now. You poke and prod. Everything seems perfectly sound and seems to be a nice stone floor. You see is, again, this hallway is about like 20 or 30 feet long, and it starts to turn to the south. Kind of round the corner. See a larger room. It's got a table set for 2. There seems to be a door to the southeast, as well as a few candelabras, and you can see that the room is basically this like 30 by 30 or so, and it seems to have a way out to the west, and then that door to the southeast.
Can I tell if any would be an exterior wall, even though we're underground?
You're looking for a sensation of something being an exterior wall? What would give you that impression?
Just general spatial orientation.
I need more detail to gather what you're trying to describe. Like, are you trying to see from your keen mind if you can gather that something's an outside wall? I would say no.
Fair enough.
If you can describe something with more detail that kind of makes sense, I'll give you like a chance for it. But I don't know why one wall, like, these are stone walls in this place, so like all of the walls have seemed to be stone, even ones that you've come across that were like clearly like folded in on themselves, like inside of like the well room in that northeast. Some of those walls are still 3-4 feet wide, and they're clearly like interior walls. So I'm not sure what would give you a sensation of something being an exterior versus an interior when they're like flagstone walls.
More of, okay, we've come down, we've went this far to the east or this far to the west, that kind of stuff. But
You
know,
could gather from this point that this basement is much larger than the actual house above. You are outside of the foundation of the home that is above you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Sometimes I just need a better description of what you're going for. So as you kind of move forward into this exit, you start to see signs that this seems to be a bedroom. There's a few really nice, or I guess you see one painting on the northern wall with a pretty nice frame. And inside of the dim light, you see that there is another painting on the western wall. That seems to be a pretty similar painting. It's almost like life-sized, with a really like brilliant, very thick, like gold embossed frame around the painting itself. There's a chest in the center of the room, a small chair ahead of you, as well as the first signs of a bed.
What is the painting of?
From your angle right now, you can't actually see. The one that's in the darkness, you can kind of make out like the shape of a human. As you get closer into the room itself, you see that the painting on the northern wall seems to be of a female in dark black robes, who matches what you've seen previously upstairs as Elizabeth Durst, and that the one on the western wall is Gustav Durst in a similar black robe.
What a rather strange place. You must have gotten involved with some sort of dark powers. And I'll sort of like take a look at the chest and see, does it appear to be locked or anything?
Let's see. You can roll a investigation at disadvantage, looking to see if it's locked.
I got an 8.
Oh, I thought that was the same one as before.
Oh, maybe it was. Did it not roll again?
Yeah, I think that's the same one from before. Oh yeah, 14.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Because it was 8/18.
It seems to have a pretty fancy lock on it, but it is in fact not locked at present.
Probably not the best idea, but and I'll open it.
It seems to be filled with many different things. There's a folded cloak on top, a small wooden lockbox, a few potions of some mysterious red liquid, chain shirt, a mess kit, a flask, bullseye lantern, thieves' tools. Seems like a spell book. Very similar to the ones that Kavi found earlier, only this one has things inside of it. I guess you don't actually know that yet, though.
Come on, guys. This chest is loaded with loot. Hopefully it's not cursed, but
Kavi, are you still outside of the room?
She walks in.
Lee's going to ask for the thieves' tools.
of course, friend, take them. Take them. I wonder what these are.
As
I'm
you
gonna-
pull out the thieves' tools, it's time to roll initiative.
Do I have time to grab the potions or no?
You can use your action in initiative, but not before initiative. This happens as soon as somebody takes anything from the chest.
I got you. I got you.
You poor souls.
Got mighty quiet.
I have to play 3 different characters here. It always takes me time to set up combats.
Oh, sorry.
So let's see. God damn, Sarkis, what is up with your fucking initiatives?
It just balances out my investigations.
Like, you're not rolling those with advantage, are you?
No, I'm just rolling regular, but I have +4.
Yeah, you've literally had 23, 22, 23, I think.
All in out.
Yeah, so you're going to effectively miss your first turn here. I don't think there's any reason that you couldn't grab one of those healing potions, but you're basically missing your turn. Because these things are effectively jumping out on you all, so you don't actually sense anything until it happens. So I would say for now, but do you really know those are healing potions? Roll an Arcana or a Religion check. Excellent. Yep. So yeah, you can grab one of those healing potions on that turn, so you can write that down on your inventory. But I think that's going to be your first turn in this. So right behind Kavi, the painting is going to tear out as a gray arm just reaches through the painting. And within a moment of breaking this like seal across this area, a horrid stench is going to start emanating out from this creature. It's going to step out and try to claw at Sifia. Going to miss her as it kind of reaches like into the stone, and you just hear this horrendous like nails on a chalkboard sound as it slashes out at Sifia. Sifia is going to cough at the start of her turn as the stench from this creature starts to make her retch. She's going to draw her scimitar and swing at it with a crit for 2 ones. I think that's for 3 damage. And it's going to go to Kavi.
She's just gonna stab it with her rapier.
Oh, my bad. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. You are going to be poisoned, and my bad. Sifia was poisoned as well, and it is disadvantage on attack rolls, so she's not going to crit it, and she's not going to hurt it. Roll the 5. So roll another d20 plus 4. Excellent. So 19 for 9 damage. You like slash across this creature's back and open up a pretty big wound, but you kind of notice all across her flesh she's got a lot of festering wounds already. Any bonus action, Kavi?
Does pouring holy water on it count?
That's in full action.
She's gonna use another bardic inspiration to give it to Sophia.
How many bardic inspirations do you have?
4. And I've
Got
only used, and this will be my 3rd one.
I feel like you've given an inspiration to everybody, so I think this would be your 4th.
No, I haven't got one yet.
Alright, word. Gotcha. So Sophia will take another inspiration.
The child needs a little bit of help at her attacks.
And it's going to go to Flea. Twenty hits. Oh, I need you. Nope, you're not in a base space. For 10 damage. She looks a little roughed up, but possibly kind of hard to tell at times. I like how you moved right up to Gustav. He's going to reach out and tell you how much he loves it as well. He's going to hit with a 23 for 9 damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. That will save. You feel a similar sensation where your muscles tensed up before as this creature runs out and slashes you with its claws. It's going to go to you, Sarkis. I need a Constitution saving throw.
With advantage.
Yeah, it is an inhaled poison.
I don't smell anything.
You got a good loogie right before looking through that chest. And you, in fact, are also poisoned, so your attacks will be at disadvantage.
All right, I'm gonna do a quarterstaff attack.
Eight's gonna miss.
And then I'm gonna do an unarmed strike.
Boot to the head. Wah, wah, wah. 10 is going to miss. Elizabeth is going to turn in response to Sarkis and swipe out at him with a 20 to hit, and it will be for 9 damage, and I need a Constitution saving throw. This is not inhaled. Your muscles start to tense up for a second, and then you shake it off. Somewhat with the power of your key, but not actually costing you any key, because 10 is in fact the DC. Oh yeah, my bad. No, it's the start of their turn. So Sifia is no longer poisoned. Oh, but she does have to make the save. So she saves and she's good. And she's gonna strike out at Elizabeth. An 18's gonna hit for 4 damage. Cutting off like a massive chunk of flesh from flesh and muscle from her arm that she just struck out at Sarkis with. And it's gonna go to Kavi. Finish her!
You have to make another con save.
You're not poisoned, but yeah, another Constitution save. These things just emanate a stench from around them. Yep, you are good and no longer poisoned.
Alright, she's going to go for another rapier attack on it.
$16 will hit for 3 more.
And as a bonus, she's going to give her last Bardic Inspiration to Sarkis.
And then it's going to go to Flea. Constitution saving throw, please. Excellent. So I think right now Sarkis is the only one who's not saved against that at the start of their turn. But Flea, you can take your turn. You are not poisoned. Oh, no, Sarkis did save that one. No, my bad. You had the 3 and the 4.
I failed the one when it was the smell, but I passed the one when she attacked me.
Wait a second. 16 hits for 7 damage. And an 8's gonna miss. Gustav is going to break away. You can take a reaction attack if you'd like, Flea. $18 hits. For 7 damage. And Gustav's going to run across the room and swipe out at Sarkis for a 13 to hit.
Oh, that misses.
Excellent. You guys might actually live through this. It's going to go to Sarkis.
Can you remind me, what is the bardic inspiration? Does that happen before or after I roll? How does that work?
I think that's your choice after you roll a d20.
It could be added after the roll, but before the results.
Okay, so before I know if I pass. What is her? What do I do now? I need to roll a.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 1d6.
Con save is at the start of your turn. This is the inhaled.
Okay, so the inhaled one I get advantage on. But don't tell me if I pass right away. $13. I guess I'll just roll with that.
You, in fact, save it.
Okay, word up. So I'll just like sniffle a little bit, and I like kind of smell it a little bit, but then I just shrug it off. And then I'm gonna go ahead and attack her again with the double-handed staff, and I'm gonna yell out, "Murderers! You killed your children!" And I'm gonna use my bardic inspiration on that. So D6, you said?
Yes.
15 hits. For 11 damage. I think that will kill her. Yep, that's a kill.
It's gonna be the 10. I don't know if that makes a difference.
I thought you said two-handed.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Threw me off because of last time.
So that is a killing blow on Elizabeth.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and. Okay, let me ask you this: is it a bonus action to drink a potion or a regular action?
Normally it's an action. I'm inclined. Well, see, you can't actually pull it out at this point. You can free action pull it out and bonus action drink it. The problem is normally the difficulty is in both acquiring something and then drinking it. But yeah, you can drink it as a bonus action right now.
Well, I wasn't actually going to drink it necessarily. I just wanted to know. So, is it okay if I just like keep it in my hand? I guess
That would be a reason to use your staff one-handed in the future, but you can pull it out as a free action right now if you'd like.
Okay. Well, whatever you say. The only reason I'm saying that is because you said at the beginning of combat that I like grabbed it. So it's up to you. Whatever you want me to do.
Well, it was more because you were inclined to pick it up at the start of the combat that I said, if you want to do something, because you rolled higher than when they would have busted out of the walls, and instead of surprising you, I just started on Elizabeth. My point is to give you that chance to use your action to do what you had talked about doing. I wasn't trying to penalize you all, and I wasn't trying to surprise you, because those creatures are severely deadly if they surprise you.
Yeah, I got you. I just my question is basically is, can I still do flurry of blows, or do I have the potion in my hand? Like what? I don't know what state you left me in.
I assumed already. I don't want to ever control your character. That's the first off. I assumed already that you would have pocketed that potion.
Okay, perfect. So I had time to take the potion and put it like in my pocket or something.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So
When
then I'm gonna
I tell you all stuff, I want to tell you something that I think you should try to do, but it's up to you to make the decisions. I'm not trying to ever rule your characters.
All right, I'm gonna spend a key point and do flurry of blows against Gustav.
13 hits for 6. And that will, like, cave in a lung. 15 will hit for another 5.
Where is the crypt so I can lay your children to rest? And that's the end of my turn.
Siphia's gonna step on the skull of Elizabeth as she does a Superman punch with her saber, and is going to... She does have a +3. I think she's gonna hit Gustav for 4 damage. And it will go to Kavi.
Yeah, she's just going to go with another rapier stab.
$13 hits, and that will kill Gustav.
That was quite fulfilling.
So is y'all...
Perhaps now.
What were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna talk. Perhaps now we've cleansed this place of some of the evil within. It can rest. And then I guess we will continue to like go through the chest.
Yeah, I think you looked over everything in the chest. It wasn't until you removed the thieves' tools that anything happened there. I described it wrong. The actual box was filled with the potions. I think that was what was meant to prevent you from being able to see that they were potions.
So what is that? Just under healing potion? Is that what it is?
Yep.
It says supreme, superior, and greater.
No, it should just be a
Oh, I
normal
see.
healing potion.
Okay, so there's one regular healing potion that I took, and then who's taking the other one?
There were 4 total potions in that box.
Are they all red?
Yeah, they're all the same potion.
Perhaps we should each take one. And Kavi, you seem to be the most inclined to use a book or a journal. I know it's not the same as the one you gave up, but and then I would like hand her the journal that was in there, or the book rather.
She takes it and starts like flipping through it.
It has this very similar construction to the other books that you found earlier, the actual spell books, which, do you know what kind of subclass you're going bard-wise? Keep describing stuff to you, assuming you're going one way and not the others.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it'd be like the knowledge/lore one.
Alright, word. Yeah, so flipping through this, you very quickly recognize that this is a wizard spellbook. And I think you now have 3 of them. The 2 blank ones, and then this one with, you spot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different spells already inside of it.
Do I know what level they go up to?
I think you could recognize that they are levels of magic that you don't yet possess. But it's not like extremely like obscure magic.
And going based on how like this house has been, I'm assuming they're like mostly necrotic / necromancy spells.
Make a insight check for me.
So, Flea, you any good with thieves' tools?
So you gather, Kavi, that these are probably items taken from dead adventurers that they murdered in this house some ages ago. And Flea, for you, I actually altered your thieves' tools last time, so they were -1 as if you broke a single piece from the thieves' tools instead of positing it as a breaking the entire set. But there is certainly like costs for failing to use thieves' tools by like large digits. I think on that one, when I said you broke a piece, I think it was by like 6. So
Okay.
you can record that as you are. I think I upped it so you have like you're back up to a set of thieves tools, and I just wrote down like a -1. I pretty much had the intention that if the minus ever got to what your dexterity bonus was, you would essentially destroy the entire pack of thieves tools, which basically means like the more dexterous you are, the more you can make do with a broken kit, even though it's like still harder and more likely that you would then break more pieces. So if you'd like, you can just press +1 to that actual thieves tool set and just keep in the notes that one of them has a -1 to it.
Will do.
The cost to doing it like that, though, is the actual weight of thieves' tools. I feel like thieves' tools weigh like 6 pounds or something of that nature. But that's purely up to you. So let's see. There's still a folded cloak inside of there, a chain shirt, a mess kit, a flask, a lantern.
This lantern could come in handy. Is there any oil or anything?
There is not oil.
I'm not much for drinking. Anyone care for a flask? I'm not sure if it's clean to drink out of anyway, but I guess I'll put the bullseye lantern in the party loot. And then anybody have any use for chain shirt, armor wise?
No, but I'll take the flask.
Well, we need to use the lantern. I do have a flask of oil to use.
Nice.
I think the oil can give you an hour with the bullseye lantern. So I would say don't use the party loot list. How I've let you all do it in other parties. Kind of keep it on you, like on an actual character. I feel like shit, once it's thrown on the party loot list, it just gets forgotten. And it's just ignored weight. If it's weight that you have to carry around, people notice it on their character.
Okay, well, I always like torches, so I've got no problem carrying the bullseye lantern. Who wants to take the chain shirt, even if it's just to try to like pawn it or sell it or something later?
And then as well the extra potion.
Oh, I was gonna give one to the little girl.
That's perfectly okay. I don't intend to play a DMPC for the entire campaign. I feel like that would be absolutely horrible. It'd be a shame if she died.
If she dies, can I have her cat?
You guys don't know the nature of her creature.
Only one way to find out. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
So does everybody have healing capabilities, at least to some degree then? Is that what I got?
I believe Flea has whatever potion he has, and that is it.
So Flea, you don't have a normal way to heal or anything?
No, I do not.
Yeah, I think you should take the 2 potions then. Because that'll give you 2 ways, and then I have a potion, and once a day I can cast my spell. And then Kavi, you have healing as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense to me.
Great. I'm going to take one of the potions right now. If I have, do I have the one that's greater?
None of them are greater. They're all just normal potions. 4 normal healing potions.
But you'll have 2 of them, not 1.
Yeah, I just want to use one. What is it? 1d6?
Nope. And I would. You can use the potion if you would like, but I'm going to straight up tell you guys right now, you're not going to get healing potions in this campaign. Those are rare fucking items that you guys just found in that chest. You were meant to die in that room.
Okay, I'll hold back then. How about we take a rest?
Yeah. As you go to like drink the potion, I'll reach my hand out and stop you, and I'll say, perhaps we should just rest again.
You all plan to sit down in this room and take a rest?
I think we should make our way out of this area before, but not too far. And definitely no one crawl into that bed.
Where's your HP at, Flea?
4.
I could cast Cure Wounds on you for you.
Thank you so much.
So I know my investigation's horrible, but like when you said earlier, she like reached through like the like painting on the wall. Did it like ruin the painting, or are they just like still on the wall, like looking fine?
No, they like tore through the center of the canvas.
Okay, but they're like destroyed now.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's super creepy.
So she has holy water that she's just gonna like soak a dagger in.
When they died, did they leave like remains behind, or was it just like powdery mist?
No, they're like corporeal bodies. They are wearing pretty similar clothes to some of the paintings that you've seen the Dursts wearing. They're very clearly Elizabeth and Gustav Durst. Their bodies are just almost putrefied. No, not putrefied. I feel like that's too like liquidy almost. They're almost like mummified, like desert mummified, where something is just dry and never really had a chance to rot. And that would definitely seem weird to you all because this is a really like moist, drippy, wet basement. And what were you thinking with your dagger, Kavi? You're like soaking it in holy water?
Yeah.
So depending on how much you intend to use, that might cost you some of your holy water. But essentially, like, holy water is going to evaporate. It's just water. Were you doing something with the dagger after you did it?
Well, depending on how like holy symbols and holy water works. I don't know how it affects like these creatures, considering they're like of a darker
Roll either a
entity.
religion or an arcana check.
Before we get too far away, how many hit points did I pick up?
I think she healed you for 8 hit points.
Yeah, it was 8.
Thank you.
You clicked acrobatics. Which one were you trying to do? Religion or arcana? I guess arcana probably. What's your bonus for arcana?
They're both a +1.
All right, so 14. These creatures aren't coming back to life, and often holy water is used as a way to banish a spirit that returns to life. These creatures were a sort of undeath that never died.
So like a ghost with unfinished business, but like solidified form.
Yeah, Ghost doesn't have a physical form to put the holy water on. So those are like the two different extremes of undead that holy water is not really effective for. But for what it's worth, using holy water on these creatures would not help, and it would only waste your holy water. So are we going to rest here? Are we moving on?
I think we should keep moving at least a little bit away from this room. I don't like it one bit.
Seems at least one bit likable in that they're dead. They smell a little bit less.
What about the chest at the end of the bed?
That's what you guys have been looking through.
Okay, what's along that other wall then?
The east wall?
Yeah.
The dresser. There's seems to be like a chest of drawers there.
Take a look through and then let's keep moving.
Are you going to investigate the chest of drawers?
Probably will.
Roll an investigation for me. Ah, fuck it. This doesn't need a roll. Inside of it, you find a nice collection of various colors of traveling cloaks, a pair of iron candlesticks, about 30 torches, a leather sack with 15 candles, and yeah.
Did about 30 torches.
Yep. Almost as if this house were trying to supply you with torches for the entire campaign.
Blade would like a couple of them if you don't mind.
I don't think they're gonna mind. They're dead.
Yeah,
I
we
meant
should,
the rest of the group.
we should each take a few. What, you want to just do like 10 each? I have that bullseye lantern, but until we like fill up on oil, I just assume keep using torches.
Works for me.
Do we have any use for candlesticks?
I mean, it's just an extra light source.
You must have been really isolated. Yes, they make light.
What are they, just like a worse version of a torch?
I feel like candles are like a 5-foot radius. They're a terrible version of a torch. But the difference is like somebody like Kavi could benefit from candles as she sits up and writes like at night. It's basically enough that you're like lighting up your writing space.
How many were there?
15.
She officially has 20 candles.
I was gonna say, I feel like bards are the only class that like normally would be likely to start with candles, because I remember starting with my bard and I'm like, wait, I only have candles? Fuck this. So with the healing, do you all need to take a rest? Are you moving forward?
I think we'll move forward and then potentially rest, depending on how everybody is doing.
I mean, my HP is fine. I'm at 10 out of 12.
I'm low, but we could keep moving.
Where are you at?
5. But I definitely don't like the idea of sleeping or resting in this room. Like, I don't know why. It's just funky to me.
Go ahead and add 7.
Much appreciated.
I'm out of spells.
All right, so we'll keep moving back to that main hallway and try to find this freaking crypt.
There is a door in the southwest we could go through.
Oh yeah, what's the deal with that door down there? I didn't even see it.
Can I do a perception check? See if it's like trapped or locked?
Looking over it would be a perception check. Investigation would be more looking for traps. Yeah, seems to be a like a metal and stone door to the east of you.
I go to open it.
Would everybody roll initiative, please? As Kavi reaches to the door and goes to pull on it, you see as her hand sinks into the door and seems to have fallen through the metal and stone.
I'm not being pulled through it though, right?
Depends what your definition of pulled is.
Am I being sucked through the door physically, or am I able to pull myself back out?
You cannot pull yourself back out.
There's a regular roll.
So is she like gone through the door?
Just her hand. I love how
I'm
you
gonna
guys
try to
just
pull her
thought this
back.
house became benign the moment you sacrifice something to it.
Oh dear God, what is that thing?
Do you remember when I killed Atcon in the middle of the Dungeon of the Mad Mage?
Oh, what was it? Mimic barrels?
This is a mimic door.
Fucking false door. Damn it.
So yeah, Lee, as you see Kavi go to open this door, she like tugs at it and parts of the door seem to like pull away with her, but her fist is completely gone and now it's like up to her like forearm. What are you doing?
Trying to pull her away.
You can make a grapple check. Can use either what is it, strength or strength, I think.
I don't resist.
I mean, it's good that you don't resist, but the door that's trying to eat you definitely resists.
That was about worthless.
More of her arm sinks into the door as you pull away. This thing seems to almost like roll out and up her arm. You just see like bits of the door, like the stone and the metal, seem to just be like rolling as if it's like a putty. But otherwise, it still looks a lot like a door. So it is going to act next, and it is going to like fling out. Did I roll for? I think I rolled for Siffy. Oh, damn it, she's gonna be first. She's gonna run up and stab the door for I think 3 damage. The door is going to reach out and try to punch Flea as it forms a fist that looks a lot like Kavi's, only still looks a lot like stone and metal. Let's see. 15 to hit for 4 damage.
Got it.
That hits you?
Armor class 14.
Yep, that'll hit. You also are adhered to the mimic. Both of you basically have movement of 0 at this point. And it's going to go to Sarkis.
In a big arcing motion, I'm going to kind of smack this thing right on the head. Right on its damn ugly mouth, actually, with my staff two-handed. Let them go, deceiver! And then I'm going to bonus action unarmed strike.
And an 18 will hit for 5 more.
And that was just me poking it in one of its eyes. And that's the end of my turn.
It has no eyes, so like a keyhole?
Oh, I was looking at the picture and there's like little eyes on it. So maybe I'll just like punch out one of its little teeth.
Yeah, it's still like mostly a door right now. Like it looks like the door and it's starting to lose that shape as it's consuming Kavi. And it like basically has like an arm that reached out that is as large as the arm of Kavi that has started to consume, only clearly not hers, but it looks like hers. But other than that, it still looks like that same door. Like the
All right,
picture, the
I'll
picture is
aggressively
just generic mimic.
I'll aggressively stab my finger in the keyhole in a way that it does not enjoy it.
And then it's gonna go to Kavi.
She's just murmuring like, "This is gross. This is gross. I don't like this. Get it off of me." She repeatedly stabs it with a dagger, even though it's probably just one attack.
Yeah, you can effectively do your actual rapier if you'd like. There's no reason that it has to be your dagger. Unless you would like to dagger strike.
She'll just repeat. She's repeatedly going to just stab it each turn.
"19 will hit for 3 damage. And I think that's all of your bonuses. So it'll go back around to Sifia, who's going to stab it with her scimitar. I'm rolling like shit with her. Nope, she's gonna miss. I think that's the best part of a DMPC. It's gonna go to Flea.
Going to hit with the daggers. Can I cut whatever is in between me and the door? Like you said, it was reaching out a tendril or something.
It's a Kavi arm. I mean, you can certainly stab at it, but I think daggers are piercing weapons. They're not slashing weapons.
Okay, I'm going for the door then.
It's all the same thing. There's not particular 12 hits. There's cool flavor by selecting different parts for 11 damage, and I think that will take it where yeah, I think this thing would be bloody. I think you would start to see as like a gray ooze starts to drip out of this creature, almost like starting to flow like a odd colored syrup.
Do I get both of my hits or only one since I have an arm bound?
Nope, you can do your bonus. It's not specifically your arm. I think it bound you by punching you. Um, 15 hits for another 6.
Nice round.
And the door is going to kind of like split and open up a little bit of a chasm as you start to see its massive like teeth that look a lot like it like split basically like on one of the metal reinforcements like across the center of the door and split into these triangles, and it's just going to like open up as it arches itself, and it is going to try to bite into Kavi. A 20 to hit for 7 damage. And then it's back on you, Sarkis.
All right, I'm gonna swing my staff big and wide and try to smack this thing double-handed.
12 hits for 10.
And then I will do unarmed strike once again. I'm gonna like throw a punch at it, but just be like 1 inch short, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna like flick out my fingers and do the 1 inch punch to it, or like the little, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. 14 hits, and I'm glad you rolled a 1 for damage.
I mean, I like to think that the
Like,
dice
fuck your
works with the
flavor.
flavor. I think it works perfectly.
Like, you're a baby monk. You need to practice your dope monk shit. And it's gonna go to Kavi. And slashing
She's
with
still
her rapier.
stabbing at it.
You like stab into the mouth as it's like biting down on your arm, and it seems to swallow the sword. And Sifia is going to try to stab at it. Oh, I got a hit for 5 more damage. Not looking terribly door-like at this point. It looks a lot like, I don't know how to describe a door that's bleeding gray blood, but flee. A 10 is a miss. An 18 will hit. 9 damage. Yeah, I think that knife's going to be the killing blow on it. As you stab and stab again with the daggers, this thing seems to slowly, like, lose its ability to maintain its form as, like, massive, like, chunks of this gelatin, like, fall to the ground with, like, echoing splashes as they turn back into a fleshy, like, pink sort of color. And the creature seems to be dead.
Well, that was unexpected to say the least. So now that it's dead, behind it, is it like an open doorway or was it just a false door on the middle of a wall?
Nope, it's definitely an open doorway. There was never a door there. It was always a mimic. You see a wall and it opens up to a northern passage at the end of this hall.
Am I able to retrieve my rapier?
Oh, yeah.
And do I still have my hand?
Yep, you've got your hand. It's definitely like you've got like this gelatin like stuck all over you and like inside of your like tunic. I feel like getting a mimic on you like that would be a lot like playing with like silly putty and like if you ever make that like starch with water where when you push on it it gets hard, then it turns to a liquid. I feel like it would be kind of a mix between those two things, where it's got like silly putty and that like two-phase starchy liquid. So it's a pretty nasty feeling. Doesn't smell especially nice, but you know, it clearly isn't eating you anymore, and that's a plus.
So it's basically slime gone wrong.
Yeah, 100%. Slime is definitely a better word than silly putty. Because it's definitely not as like hard and tacky as silly putty.
Like a nice green phlegm.
This is so gross.
Don't think it'll help, but maybe we should be more careful. I don't know.
At least it didn't eat you, though. It would have been worse inside of it.
Yeah, hopefully it was guarding a crypt so we can get the hell out of here.
Do you really believe that there's actually a crypt here?
I don't know. I'm starting to doubt even myself.
So as you round the corner, you see a large room opens up, and you very quickly see a statue of a human-like figure that you all have met before. And this room has skeletons chained up to the wall. There are 5 skeletons still chained in manacles. There's more than 5 skeletons, but I think 5 is the correct number of skeletons chained and manacled to the wall. And in the center of the room, you see Count Strad van Zarovich, holding a crystal ball in his hands in a statue. Like, he's a statue, it's not the actual Strahd.
Can I do an Arcana check in the room?
What are you trying to get a sense of?
If like a lot of the power of the house is coming from that crystal.
You can do an Arcana check. Are you touching the crystal?
Nope.
Kind of like getting a sense of things. It doesn't seem like that crystal is the source of this house's damnation. Though it does seem to have a sort of magical power to itself. But not useful to you.
What do you think, guys? Just keep moving?
And you know what? Where are you guys actually in here? I revealed the whole room, and it's beyond like what you actually have view-wise.
Should be
Oh,
at
I
the
usually-
end.
Let me start with Kavi, because you were investigating Strahd.
She would be at the entrance, but like she would not go into that room.
I usually just stop whenever you start talking to make sure I'm not like going ahead of your story.
That is wise, because moving while I'm talking is a great way to trip traps.
But yeah, I mean, if we're right there and that's as far as Kavi needed to see, I'm completely okay with just turning around and going the other way. I assume these chained people do not give me the impression that this is the crypt where little kids need to be left.
You can do a religion check.
Most crypts don't have like children chained to the walls with like vampire lords.
Yeah, I mean, but between you as the player already knowing, like, this seems to be somebody who is worshipping Strahd. Actually, you know what? Let me have you do an intelligence check, and all of you can do the intelligence check. Crushing it, Kavi. See if Flea can do it. Excellent. No clues for you all. It does not appear to be a crypt of any sort.
If anything, just from experience, Kavi would see it as more of like a dungeon.
I think it's like with those rolls, you're not going to get too many clues, but I think it's safe for you to say that, yeah, this is pretty similar to the dungeon that they actively tried to get you to sacrifice yourselves in. Because there's clearly people who were sacrificed to Strahd. Or at least to his effigy.
Well, more like ow. But it's more like because of her like past, she's probably been thrown into a dungeon and chained up a couple of times. It's where she's going with it.
The like prison cell that hid the secret entrance to the like watery part of that lowest level, that would probably be a little bit more similar to that. This is still like, there's certainly still like a holy and a magical, like from your actual Arcana check, like there's still like a holy and a magical sense to what this room was used for. Including just like the shape of how the room is shaped around Strahd. So there was like almost a room before, and he's offset in an alcove. He's like higher and above anybody else who would be in that room. I think it's safe to say that you can understand it as somewhat similar, but it would still be like a religious dedication to Strahd. Not so much a dungeon, but like for him.
Sarkis will like reach out to Kavi to like grab her hand and say, perhaps we should go. I'm starting to get the feeling that this Strahd character may not be as pleasant as our first encounter. And I would start like tiptoeing backwards.
As you start to step back, you notice in this room that the darkness actively like takes it back over. It seems to get like extremely dark very quickly.
With what Sarkis's words, would she be? Is that a charm spell on her over yet?
Yeah, your charm spell was for 24 hours. So yeah, I guess I gave you all long rests, like not necessarily as a matter of time. I'm gonna stick with on this level that yes, the charm spell is over with, and time is all wibbly wobbly in this place. It doesn't make sense how things have played out time wise.
So, alright, with that, she makes the remark, he was creepy in the beginning. And then she walks off.
As she walks away, Sarkis will say, I sort of liked his accent, and he did help me up. Judge not, lest you be judged. And I'll just keep walking behind her. Shall we head to the north?
Sure.
I guess I'll like step forward into like this next little hallway and try to do like a little search for trap section.
Which hallway and an investigation at disadvantage?
The northern one up here, and I want to kind of like use my staff to like push down as hard as I can on the ground and see if any of like the floors give way.
Oh, that's what I was doing with the player's handbook earlier. I was trying to find the actual weights for a halfling.
Oh, I believe it was like either 30 or 40 pounds, but you did make a good point that I'm carrying like 50 pounds worth of gear.
Well, part of the weird thing, though, how they describe stuff, is there's like a way to roll a specific die that gives you, like, it's not really a chart, it's an equation to plug in that number to give you a height variant based on your race, and then a multiplier against that height variant for your weight. So it might have said somewhere what like an average weight is. That could make sense. But when you're actually generating it for your character, it's like a weird level of complication. But yeah, looking things through, poking the floor, doesn't seem to be trapped. And as you kind of like come around the corner of the room, you see it opens up into what seems to be like a large wooden table with like long benches that run the length of the table itself. Almost like a friendly neighborhood cult picnic table.
Yeah, it said 3 feet tall and 40 to 45 pounds. So
Yeah, so like if a halfling was running around naked, they could pretty much walk over most traps that are pressure plates. So you see a pretty large room in here, a connector, and then there seems to be an alcove in the east. And then a hall to the north.
And there's nothing like catches my eye in the alcove.
You can roll a perception check. Seems to be empty.
Is there anything on the table, or is it just empty?
I think it would have like random like silverware and like plates. Very much like overtaken by dust. It's been here for ages, and at one point, this was effectively the dining room of the cult. Oh, yep, it says moldy humanoid bones are strewn across the floor. I think that was supposed to be clues that you were about to walk into ghouls if you walked to the south from that room.
Been down here an awful long time. I don't want to press our luck. Starting to feel like we're not going to find this crypt.
Yeah, we definitely probably didn't walk by the crypt and almost walk into them right as we came down here. That would have been way too convenient to notice.
Wait, what? Did you see the crypt?
Nope. I haven't seen anything that looks like a crypt.
It was probably the other direction.
So now that you guys are effectively back and have explored all of the real dangers of this place or avoided them, that is the crypt that you walked by and never looked into. These are the other. So after taking the time to investigate them, you will see that in the most northern crypt, there's no name and a massive door that's kind of like leaned up against the wall. The one on the south of that northern crypt says Walter. There's no actual coffin, just the door and just with the name Walter on it. The crypt to the east has Elizabeth and has Gustav on the doors, and those are sealed shut. And then the crypts to the west, also sealed shut, have the names Rosvalda and Thornbolt on them. I tried to tell you guys to go the other direction. It was one of those hilarious moments that you guys rolled like shit, and I was like, yep, two of you guys are saying north and one of you are saying south, and you guys didn't even think to look down the actual hall to the east.
All right, so we're going to go to the Rosevalda one, and like, did you say the door is open already?
No, for Rose and Thorn, the doors are shut. Like, the only door that's open is Walter's that has a name on it. Part of what you're supposed to kind of gather there is that Walter was a newborn. They knew enough to add his name that he would one day die, but they did not yet commission a damn it, why can't I think of the fucking word? It's like the sarcophagus for him to be placed into. Whereas Rose and Thorn have them. So you can open those doors. You guys effectively have all the time in the world at this point, so there's no need to ask for rolls. But you can basically, I think Flea actually has a crowbar.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so Flea gets advantage when he tries to open things with the crowbar. So you guys have to put some strength and elbow grease into opening the actual doors. But after you open, who are you going to first?
I was thinking we would do Rose and then Thorn afterwards if we feel like we get some kind of effect out of it. I also have a crowbar, but I know you said we don't need to roll, so we should be able
Oh
to
yeah,
get it.
word. That's just good to know. Like crowbars are useful for the party when you're investigating shit and trying to strength it open. Yeah. So when you place Rose's body, her bones, into her sarcophagus, you hear a horrific scream, yelling and crying in the voice of Thorn as he yells out, "Rose, you promised you wouldn't leave me!" And it just pierces your ears. And I need everybody to roll a Constitution saving throw. I had wondered if anybody would remember that. So Kavi takes 6 damage from the. It's really 6 psychic damage as Thorn screams out for his sister. Very clearly, his sister has been laid to rest, and he is left alone upstairs right now.
Will you die from a scream?
Did that knock you down?
It did.
So as you place Rose's body in there, Kavi is just going to collapse to the ground. What are you guys doing?
I'll run over real quick and stabilize her. I'll try to.
No medicine kit, so just a medicine check. Yep, you stabilize her right away.
Be right back with you, dear. And then I'm going to do the same for Thorn.
Yep, takes you even less time to use the crowbar to open up the door, get his bones inside, and within a moment of placing all of his bones inside of the actual sarcophagus, the house goes silent. Shit, I didn't roll for Scipia. Oh, she's gonna get hit too. I think she has a single hit point left right now. So what's everybody thinking about right now? You have an unconscious Kavi, and you satiated the ghost children. Seem to have satiated the house.
Do we get any kind of inclination how long Kavi's going to be out? And can we take a long rest while someone's knocked out and then still get credit for it?
No, she'll have to wait. She has to be conscious to take a long rest.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Do we give her a potion?
I don't want to be stingy with our supplies, Flea, but if there's one thing I know, it's you can never have enough healing. We could just wait for a little bit, relax, and when she comes to consciousness, I think it's a good idea for us to take a rest.
I agree.
Could probably go to a little bit more welcoming place in the house.
The whole house has felt horrible to me. What do you mean?
Well, we're in the crypts right now, though.
It is true. Well, I mean, we can. Honestly, not sure where the stairwell is even going to lead us to, but it does sort of feel like this house is calmed some.
Sophia's just going to pick up Kavi in like a fireman's carry, like with her like draped over her arm, and just start to carry her. I feel like she's probably a solid like foot and a half shorter than Kavi.
I would literally never be able to do that. I would have to drag her.
I'll help out.
Let's at least get her up to the attic. This place is clearly where the evil began.
Nothing wrong with that. So I guess we'll just go up the spiral stairs again.
Kavi, can you roll a d4? Haha, 4 hours it is. Does everybody feel comfortable just up here? Does that sound good?
Works for me.
I'm not opposed to it.
I'm gonna let Elmira know that I think her son is in the best place that he can be.
You think now's the best time for it? Maybe we should wait till Kavi's back conscious and everything, just in case.
I don't think she was ever a danger to us, unless we were hostile. I don't think
Yes.
she's dangerous anymore. I think hearing
Right.
Elizabeth is dead will...
You're right. I agree 100%. I think knowing that we've eradicated Elizabeth and her evil will probably please her to know. And then I guess like I would kind of like sit down and maybe like I don't know if that's like a little stove set up there or something. Maybe I can like cook up a little food, warm up some rations, boil some water or whatever. Sort of like relax while we wait for Kavi to come to, like put like a warm rag on her head.
Same here.
You'd rather I not, I can wait, but I just assume let her know as soon as possible. She could already know, even if we talked about it, she might already hear.
No, I think you're right.
So, over the next few hours, you all can sit here and rest for a time, waiting for what ends up being the length of time that it takes caring for Kavi before she wakes up. During that time, Sifia again kind of does like a little prayer and chanting the name of Elmira. She eventually kind of starts to apparate into the room. She kind of catches her up on a few of the things, essentially telling her that Walter in some way was locked in with the cult. And she like says that Kavi was the one who sacrificed a part of herself to satiate the cult, and it seems to have helped. That they called and saw signs that Walter had been sacrificed there. Elmira kind of admits that at some point, I don't think I said this last week, that at some point Elizabeth took Walter from her and she knew what she was doing, but she also didn't know how to stop her master. And she is essentially, she's a spirit now, like a specter, because she allowed Elizabeth to take her child. Like, that's her unfinished business. And shortly after like that conversation, you just see as she just starts to like float off, as her corporality or her incorporeal nature just starts to like drift away into dust. apparently finding some solace in your all's satiation of the house, perhaps helping Walter, or at least the story that you did, and the destruction of Elizabeth. She doesn't take pleasure in hearing that Gustav was killed. There's definitely signs from her that she always felt like Gustav was corrupted by Elizabeth. But effectively, unless you all made some terrible choices, this is the end of the Death House.
Hey, we survived the death house.
I only died once.
Yeah, 2 of you are corrupted by dark powers of Barovia.
I would say more like blessed.
I'm sure it's not going to come out to be a terrible thing in the end.
I mean, disadvantage on investigation's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's an incredible pain in the ass.
But advantage against inhaled poisons did pay off one time.
I was thinking, I'm like, when the fuck are they going to come across an inhaled poison? And then I read the gas, and I was like, this is the one time they're going to come across an inhaled poison. And it's literally,
Yeah,
once you
it was
pass it,
hilarious.
you're good forever, like for 24 hours.
It was super funny too because it was like advantage on it, and then I rolled a 3 and a 4, and I'm like +2, or no, +1. So I'm like, that's literally like the worst 2 possible rolls without getting a 1.
So, you guys aren't necessarily in a point where I need to find out exactly what you would like to do, but I would still like to try to get at least another moment forward on which direction you will intend to go in Barovia. So if everybody's good, we can fast forward to when Kavia wakes up, and then I will need you all to level up to level 3, and we'll kind of pick up as you leave the Death House. So let's take a little break here while you all level up. I'm going to step away. And then, really, you don't even have to level up today, but it's not really going to be anything combat related for the rest of the day. So let's take a quick little break here and try to at least find the direction that we'll be going for next session, because that's definitely a huge part of Curse of Strahd. It's me always knowing the direction you are going. Death House is clearly not really based on your choices so much as you guys can choose to go this direction.
When do you want us back? 10 or 15 minutes?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna just take a quick little restroom break and probably brew a little coffee, and then I'll be back lingering around.
Let me know when you all get back to your computers here.
All right, I'm back.
I think the others are still away.
I'm back.
Excellent. Just waiting on Key. Excellent. Kavi's back as well. So, as you all step out of the Durst Manor, the children are nowhere to be found in front of the house itself. Having gone through the rest of the house, many of the things seem to almost dilapidate before your eyes. And shortly after stepping through the front door, opening up the gate and leaving the house, you hear behind you as it begins to crumble and fall to the ground as the entire mass seems to implode, and the house left behind you is nothing but rubble. Find yourselves once again in the village of Barovia, on Barovia Lane, looking down the central street inside of the county of Barovia. You guys are effectively like right here in the city.
Click one more time where we are.
Towards the eastern side of the map. I don't think I have Fog of War on this one.
Oh, you're good. I see it. I was looking the other way when
Gotcha.
you did it. So.
But as you all leave the house, the mist that has seemed to hold you into this space seems to slowly just fade from like 30 feet away from you to 40, and then it's kind of lost into the darkness. And after, depending on kind of like how long you stay there, after about 15 minutes, you start to see that there's actually smoke rising from some of the houses. What would you all like to do?
Sarkis will like look up at his companions and then hold one hand out to the left and one hand out to the right and look left and go, Barovia or Barovia?
If I can remind you, because I didn't actually produce this map for you last time, Rahadin basically brought you into Barovia at that crossroads, which was Barovia Lane and Barovia Street. And you all walked to the east to Durst Manor, where you saw the children. But you entered Barovia through this western road over here when you came in.
And we get the sense that things have changed because before there was like no light and no smoke and any of that stuff.
Again, depending on how long you all sit there, you start to gain more and more of a sense of things. But assuming without like an immediate decision, like 20 minutes is now kind of gone by, you start to gather that some of these houses are indeed lived in, and that perhaps both Strahd and Rahadin are affected by the mist in a different way, because you walk through parts of this town and saw nothing but dilapidated houses, and then eventually the children. And this is again one of those sensations that the mist, like this house, was a living thing. And the mist is a living thing. So that's more or less what you should be gathering at this point. You all can't really see very far around you, but a few of the houses that are in view, you do see as the actual smoke from like a chimney is rising across like the moon in the sky. After about a half hour or so, you do start to see up on the mountain far away from view the Castle Ravenloft. What the fuck?
Where's the castle on the map?
Barovia, this is all the way on the east of this big map. Barovia is down on like the valley floor, and Ravenloft is like well above you all. Probably about, what is that, like 20 or 30 miles to the northeast of Barovia.
Oh, okay, so it's not even on that map we were just looking at. It's like out past the woods.
Yep, correct.
Well, I should suppose we should head towards one of the lights or smoke and try to get our bearings in this place.
That would be the view of Ravenloft that you all have from the village.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Lee, Kavi, thoughts on where to go in Barovia?
It's almost like it's pulling us.
We want to find our way out and get out of here. We should go for the castle.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
almost thinking, do we want to gain a little more experience elsewhere before we attempt the Castle of Death?
Yes, I definitely think we should investigate the town a little bit and see what's going on in this place before we go speak with Strahd again. I imagine if he wanted to see us, he would find us.
So, do we see anything other than the castle in the outlying distance?
So the reason you can see the castle is because it's silhouetted by the moon. Most of why you can't see anything is because it's dark out. And you guys are still standing on like the outskirts of Barovia.
Yeah, I think Sarkis would just sort of like start walking forward meekly with his staff now as like a walking stick again, and then look for one of the houses with smoke coming up out of it or with the lights on, and approach it.
What direction are you walking?
Oh, just like into town. If we were all the way on the east, basically, I would walk down like that main street going west.
All right, to the west.
Yeah, just going towards the west and see if like one of the houses specifically has like lights on or smoke coming out of the chimney.
There's more signs of smoke coming out of chimneys than there are anything even remotely resembling a house that has like any sort of candlelight or anything burning inside of it. And that's like your initial walk. It depends how far you want to go for how much you want to experience in the town. But if you're stopping at the first place, that's a different story. But you do quickly notice that all of these houses seem to be like barred up, shut up. They all have crude examples of religious icons hanging above the doors. And most of these places that seem to have been shops are closed up and covered with wood. Certain houses that you cross by that have smoke on them seem to be like barred, shut, and dark.
Can we see any shops, like signs that would like look like a shop for either like an inn, a tavern, or like a blacksmith like looking place or something like that?
From where you're at, no, you don't see them any like immediately. How far would you like to walk?
Oh, well, I imagine probably like the center of town is probably where the most notable things would be. So I would think like just walk towards the center of town and then see if something jumps out as either like a shop, an inn, or a tavern.
Passing by some of like the closed down shops, one of the things you would notice is like the blacksmiths seems to be closed down, boarded up. There's like a leather shop that's closed and shut down. Eventually, by the time you make it back to Barovia, you do see to the south is a place with a sign that says
Barovia.
Bill Drafts Mercantile. And to the north of you, you see a sign hanging that seems to be a tavern, but you can't make it out from that far away.
Perhaps the tavern? And I'll look up to my companions. Although I'm not sure she's
Here.
old enough to get in.
So the little like circle squiggly is the tavern to the northeast of you. Bill Drafts Mercantile is to the southeast of you. And by the time you make it to this part of the actual town, you do hear, like, this is a pretty quiet town. There's very little sound happening in this place. And you hear, like, the wailing and sobbing of a woman by the time you make it to the center of Barovia.
Of course we do. Where is this woman at? Is she just like out in the open somewhere, or is it just like coming from off in a distance?
You don't see any signs of somebody crying. You just hear a sound, like, on the air. It's the only thing on the air in this place.
Does it sound like it's coming from everywhere?
Roll a perception check. It's hard to make out where it's coming from inside of this area.
Well, shall we investigate or have a nice relaxing sit down in the local tavern and try to get some information?
I don't think Kavi seems ready to help anybody. I think we need to think about rest.
Oh wait, didn't we just get a long rest?
I'm sticking with the idea that still though.
What do you think?
If Kavi needs to rest, I say we rest.
I would like to
make
like to find a
choices,
bed.
people. You don't have to blame it on Kavi. I was definitely still thinking she was at 1 hit point. That was all.
I still think I'm at 1 hit point.
I mean, we can go to the tavern and ask where the inn is and get some information. I definitely don't think it's a bad idea to get like any kind of information we can. So, but in character, Sarkis would want to help.
I'm going to give you all spoiler alerts. Everybody who lives in Barovia needs help. Everybody. You are all damned. So as you walk close to the what seems to be the tavern, you see its sign reads Blood of the Vine. And the F is crossed out and written on the wine.
I'll go in.
As you step into the inn, or into the tavern, you see that there are... Oh, what did I just do? You see that there are 5 people inside of this tavern. There is a bartender who is off to your right as he is cleaning a few wine glasses. He's got a rag in his hand and is just slowly polishing the actual wine glass. You see in front of you 3 ladies who seem to be sitting at the same table, dealing cards and chatting with each other. And then one person who is off in one of the corners who seems to be sitting alone drinking wine.
I'll ask the bartender for a glass of his best.
Oh, I thought I prepared the handout for it, but I forgot to. Too big to drop in a Discord. So he goes to grab for a bottle, and he looks to you. He says, "The Champagne de la Stampe is rather expensive, and we can only sell it by the bottle. It's hard to come by these days."
Just a glass of something nice would be good.
By the glass, our finest is the Red Dragon Crush. That will be a silver.
Thank you, sir.
And after pouring a glass for you, he immediately goes back to polishing another glass in front of him.
Can I hear if the ladies playing cards are saying anything important?
What do you think's important? You can roll a perception check.
You know, if X, Y, or Z happened that is very strange, etc., etc.
They seem to have like a chatty, like gossipy tone, and just kind of continue on as you all enter, but they don't seem to be paying anybody never mind, and they don't really seem to be discussing much things of import. Kavi, Sarkis, what are you two doing?
Kavi's just taking a seat, but she doesn't order anything because she's broke.
I'll just kind of like get the bartender's attention, try to like climb up onto a stool if I can get up that high. I'm sure you noticed, but we're new in town. I've got a couple questions if you don't mind.
When you say new in town, the 3 ladies look up, and Flea, you would probably hear them say, "Bar travelers?" And the bartender will look to you. He would say, "Yes, bar traveler, welcome. Do you need a booster seat?"
I mean, if you have one, I wouldn't decline it.
What was your actual question for him?
Well, I would just order up some drinks and food if they have it. So I guess I would ask him, "Are you serving food still? You have an inn here? Place to lay our heads, relax?"
Scythia would kind of walk in about this point. The 3 ladies would all kind of look to her as she enters, and let's see, I think all of you have good passives. No, all of you have terrible passives. Starkus would probably notice that the man sitting alone seems to react a little bit to her entrance. We do not have an inn. It closed some time ago. The proprietors here might be able to put you up if... And he looks across to them, and they seem to kind of like wave him off as Sifia joins you all.
Huh. Too bad. We were staying at this place, but it sort of just crumbled on in on us. That house near the edge of town. That's where we found this little one. You're still serving food?
Food, we have a stew. And to drink, would you like...
4 stews and whatever the ladies care for. I'll just have something sweet or hot. Whatever you have. Nothing alcoholic though.
We have water and 4 stews.
Perfect. And to drink for the ladies as well.
Red Dragon Crush or Purple Grape Mash? I'll take the Red Dragon Crush. And Sophia will reach up and place a silver on the table. Or on the bar.
No, my treat.
Red Dragon Crush. 4 stews. The bartender like walks away, and he'll come back in a little bit. After a few moments, though, you do see the gentleman to the side of the tavern is going to approach you all. Arena? It couldn't be. Arena?
If you're talking to me, it's Sarkis.
And he like approaches a little bit closer and reaches out towards Sophia. And he's kind of like coming from her side, like somewhat out of her peripherals. Arena? Is it you?
If he like gets too close to try to touch her, I would like stick my stick out to like stop him from coming forward any further.
I mean you no harm. You look like my sister. You are... This is no illusion? And as Arena turns to look to him, like around when you're basically reaching out with your walking stick, he almost like crumbles to the ground as his knees just give out, and he kind of stumbles.
Wait, when Sophia looks at him?
Yep, when he basically sees her face, sees her eyes, he like crumbles to the ground, and he like falls. You are not Arena? I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. You no offense. I am very sorry to trouble you all. But it would be my honor if you join me. I will buy all of your drinks and all of your meals. There is no way this is chance. You look like my sister did 10, 12 years ago. It's uncanny to see you here.
Sarkis will like look at the group. Not opposed to joining him. Perhaps he'll have some answers or at least some companionship. Is nothing wrong with that.
My apologies. I am Ismark Kolyanovich. I am the burgomaster here in Barovia. This village is my ward. I mean no harm, and I can offer you a place safe to rest. And as he says this, the three ladies kind of snicker off to the side.
Will you say his name again?
Ismark Kolyanovich.
And what did he say his position was? The what of the town?
Burgomeister.
Would I know what that means in real life or in the game?
It's essentially a mayor, like a Romanian mayor, or like a town master. It's like a master of the burg, or village master.
Okay, cool. I think it's funny though that I literally spelled out his name perfectly without everything but the L, just from you saying it. So Sarkis would glance at the ladies as they snicker and try to see like what did he get any kind of intuition as what was funny about that or why they would snicker?
You can roll an insight to try to figure out what they're they seem to like be joking about him as he has approached you all. And kind of in the process, you all hear someone in that group of three say, oh man, I feel like it's Indrovich the Lesser. And he just kind of looks up at that little nickname and scoffs at them for a moment.
So if he had a table or whatever, I guess once our food and drinks come, we would like go join him at his table.
I assure you, they can find us in their tavern. Alenka, tell your scum of a bartender to bring their food to us here, and with it bring a carafe of the Red Dragon Crush. And one of the women stands up and she walks off to the same area that the bartender disappeared to. Please, everything will be taken care of. I just need a moment of your time. Perhaps we can find ourselves beneficial to one another. You are far travelers? Perhaps you have many questions. And looking at Sophia, he kind of like tears up a little bit, and you see as his eyes are like welling up. I know I have many more.
Yes, we definitely have some questions and could use some answers, and I think a friend wouldn't hurt either. We'd love to join you.
So Sophia will walk over with Sarkis. Lee, Kavi.
I'll go also.
Kavi hesitates before actually like, walking over with them.
Have you all been here long? Anyone?
No, not long at all.
Either a couple days or weeks. I honestly don't really know. We've had not much sense of time since we've been here. We met Strahd when we arrived.
You
We
have
rode the
already
carriage
met
into
the Count.
Yes, he either saved us or brought us here. I'm not sure which, but he was our first encounter.
Did you
And
have
then
a
he
real...
summoned.
I'm sorry, what is your name? Sophia?
Me?
Did you have Sophia with you when you met the Count?
No, it was the three of us and a fourth that we lost, unfortunately, but we saved her from the house, but she's what brought us here.
Interesting. I believe... Does he know that you came here for her? Does he know that Sophia is here?
Yes, we kept no secrets. I specifically asked about her, and he seemed busy and didn't really sound like he knew.
It is unfortunate. Strahd loves those who look as yourself. A vile creature. I believe my sister Irina went missing because of him. Many peoples of this land go missing because of his infatuations.
Do you people look to Strahd as a leader? Do you worship him, or are you more like subservience or victims to his will?
He took over this land as a warlord. There are some who serve him willingly. They are vile creatures, and he spits on the floor of the tavern. But most of those who are locked in the land of Barovia, locked in this mist, most of us are tortured. Some of us, like Arik, the barkeep, are something different. They're born without a soul. This place is a different kind of distance than before Strahd came here.
And what, may I ask, brought you here? Or how long have you been here? What brought us here? What brings anyone here? I have so many questions.
Do you remember the land you came from?
Outside of game, do I remember the land I came from?
Yeah, like you guys were in the Forgotten Realms before you came here. You left
Okay, yeah,
Daggerford.
yeah. Okay, I didn't like lose my memory. There's no like weird stuff. Of course I remember. Why do you ask?
What is the last thing that you remember?
We were near the forest, making camp, awoken in the night, attacked by wolves or some sort of wolf man creature. We fell, and when we awoke in the mist, Strahd.
And your task was to find Sophia?
Yes, we were commissioned by her mother to save her, or find her, or rescue her.
Many far travelers are tricked into this place by the Vistani. And he signals towards the two ladies who remain at the table. Others are brought here by servants of Strahd himself. Creatures cursed to walk like this one, but they cannot control themselves. And he'll signal towards flee. And then there are others who are born here. My family, for as long as we can go back, we have lived in the village here of Barovia. This whole land was once our land. And it was not before the warlord, when he came here, that my people were thrown down, and this village has crumbled ever since.
What exactly is Count Strahd? It seems he is not quite like us.
Something truly powerful. It's unnatural. It has been beyond me to say. Some sort of creature of the night now. This place does not have day. The moon sets, the moon rises. It is always darkness.
Does anyone ever leave this place, escape this place with their life? Can you be free of it?
The Vistani walk between the Mist and the other lands, but the Vistani serve Strahd.
What does this mean, Istani?
It is what their people call themselves. They are not from this land. They came to Barovia when he invaded, and they saved his life when he fell. Now, they serve him still.
Interesting. Interesting. So many more questions.
So, about this point, Arik is going to come out with some stews for everyone. A carafe of the Red Dragon Crush. And as he sits down, or as he sits everything down for you all, he's going to say, 4 stews, carafe of Red Dragon Crush. And he walks away. And within moments, he's back behind the bar with his rag in hand, polishing a wine glass.
What of these soulless ones you were speaking of?
You know how a child is born.
In my land, yes. How are they born here?
In the same way they're born here. But there are often empty shells as they age. A baby who does not cry. A baby who does not want to feed. Many of them pass away. Some of them live. You end up with emptiness. A walking, living human. But there is nothing inside. There is nothing special about them. Nothing that drives them. Watch Arik. In minutes, he will finish polishing that glass. He will move to the next. He polishes. It's all he knows to do. Polish the wine glasses until somebody asks for something. He knows very little than to serve his bar.
Does he serve anyone else?
Yes, he serves the 3 ladies who own the bar. They are sitting right there. He works here.
Ah, interesting. Those women own the place. Already been very useful.
So,
And you say there's somewhere you could put us up tonight when we're done here?
I need a favor. And I would like to help the little one. My father needs interred. I cannot do it alone. I need help. These things I don't want to speak around the Vistani. They've said too much in their presence, and they will only share it all with Strahd.
Yes, we can discuss business when we're done here, but we'll have to see before we agree to anything.
Let us enjoy a meal and go elsewhere.
If you walk to the south on Barovia Road, you will find my manchin is at the end of the road itself. You leave here and you walk south, you cannot miss it. I welcome you there. Safe travels and in peace. I will leave you here in comfort. Your tab will be covered by me. If you have any questions, please come to me. Please help me. Please let me look on the eyes of my sister for one more moment before you go on your way, and allow me to do what I can to help.
What did he say his father needed? Did he specify? I kind of missed what you said.
Interred, buried.
He needs to be buried?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So he's gonna step up and leave the tavern, and he kind of stops for a moment at the ladies and drops a gold coin to them and says, anything they require, you require more, you know where I live. And he leaves.
As he leaves, I would just say, Ismark, we'll see you soon. We appreciate your knowledge and hospitality. So are we at a pretty good wrapping point tonight?
I would essentially like to get you all to where you actually determine that that's where we're going to pick up, with you all meeting back up with Ismark at his home. But we're definitely near there.
Yeah, I would think probably we would just enjoy our meal, not have like too much casual conversation in front of strangers, and then like kind of head that way, have that be like sort of our next plot hook or whatever. Or so far, it's really our only plot hook.
I agree.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I think about the only other thing that would happen is inside of the tavern while you all sit alone. At some point, the ladies would actually turn to you all and with like different demeaning remarks about Ismark would at some point suggest to you all that you find Madame Eva and have your fortunes read as they kind of like present themselves to you and welcome you to Barovia. Any far traveler who comes here, you should most certainly enjoy the finest of our fortunes from the great Madame Eva. You should not miss the opportunity to see the wonders of the greatest Vistani in the land.
We appreciate it, and also you welcoming us into your bar. I have two questions though. One, can Ismark be trusted? And two, where do we find your Madame Eva of the Vistani?
We Vistani enjoy our travel and we move around. But Madame Eva is often in a camp that we keep just south of the Ser Falls. You must put some effort into the trek, but it is most certainly worth it for the chance to meet the lady. And as far as Ismark goes, he is the lesser son of a greater master who has since died.
And who is his master?
Kolyan Indirovich, his father. He was a great master of this town. People loved him. But isn't that what the dead are good for? To be loved in memory.
And he just passed?
Yes, they say he passed from a broken heart. His precious arena went missing.
Ah, interesting.
Yes, he was a fool, like many of these people here, fighting against the waves. The flow of time is absolute, and there is only one way to go, downstream.